Simon Cowell, who is being dragged by the K-pop fans. Since we talking about groups and things, and Svengalis and things of that nature. So Simon Cowell, a mogul in the music industry, recognized for his roles on reality shows like Pop Idol, American Idol, The X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent, played a pivotal part in shaping the global phenomenon One Direction. Cowell's company signed the band members to his record label with a £2 million deal. Subsequently, One Direction soared to greatness, with sales surpassing 70 million records across the globe by April of 2020. So have they been broken up for 4 years? It feels like it's been longer, though. But anyway, so it says, however, he is being criticized online for claiming that currently there is no megastar boy band, with many saying his comment ignores the success of K-pop group BTS. The X Factor alum said in a statement obtained by Rolling Stone, he said, every generation deserves a megastar boy band, and I don't think there has been one to have the success of One Direction in over 14 years. The industry tends to focus on solo artists, so it usually takes someone from outside to put a group together. Indeed, the record executive announced that he will be holding open auditions across the UK to take part in a boy band boot camp, of all which might form the basis of a new documentary. He said, there's always a high degree of risk, but I genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. We might uncover an incredible group. We might not get there. What if no one shows up to auditions? That could be awkward. There is no guarantee path to success. Anything can happen, but that's what's exciting for me, and that's why I'm doing this, he continued. He commented about the lack of megastar boy band for his generation, drew ire from those who pointed out BTS success. And the funny thing was, y'all told me that you don't think anybody's going to show up or whatever, but I'm like, first of all, if you say Simon Cowell and One Direction, you know damn well a bunch of young boys is going to show up to them auditions because they want to be the next Zayn. Sidebar, I do like Zayn's album. It's a little too slow for me. I need a little BPM attached. Like that first single he came out with, that's not even on the album. I kind of wish he would have went more in that direction, but his album is a little too laid back, which I don't think the album's going to go anywhere sales wise. But there's gonna be plenty of kids that want to be the next Louis Tomlinson, who I do know is about to hit the Garden with 2 shows. I didn't even know he was that popular by himself. Or so there's always going to be one of those kids that that they want to be the next version of whatever is in that group. So now what the people were saying, it says that indeed BTS appears to have outsold One Direction globally. They're also the most streamed band on Spotify. Aren't they all in the military at the moment? That's why they're not performing. They said they've also broke multiple records, including the most viewers for the premiere of a music video on YouTube. In terms of US chart performance, they have 6 number ones compared to 1D's 0. God damn. So as popular as One Direction is, y'all wasn't feeling and checking for them in America? That's weird. But Harry Styles is huge here. Like he was doing a lot of shows at Madison Square Garden when he came out with that last album. So Harry Styles is huge. He even won didn't he win like a Grammy for Album of the Year? Which pissed a lot of people off. Harry Styles is immensely popular, but they have no number one hit in America. That is shocking to me. So it says, that being said, on the UK chart specifically, 1D has more hits. So they're popular over there where Simon and that, all that Botox is from, because he got a lot of Botox in that face, and probably on the Ozempic too. But they're not checking for them worldwide or in America. So it says, outside of BTS, K-pop generated over $5 billion in 2022. Boy bands like Tomorrow X Together, Stray Kids, and 17 have achieved further global success. Now, sidebar, I'm going to tell you this. I had no idea how huge K-pop was until last week. Speaking of Tomorrow X Together, I worked their show at the Garden. And I have to say, they put on a good show. I will tell you if you do some shit. Now, the one thing that did irritate me was they would stop too many times in between like certain song situations. Like they would do a couple of their songs, then they would stop, and they'd go on this whole thing about their MOA. They speak their broken English. Oh, we're so happy that you're here with us today, and all the other stuff. And it's like, oh my God, can y'all just like go backstage, change your clothes, and get back to the show? Or at the end where y'all literally sat up on stage for damn near 10 minutes saying goodbye to everybody in the audience, worked every part of the stage. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And then they had to go to all five of them and talk about why they're so happy to be performing and all this other stuff. They did it in English, they did it in Korean. I'm like, child, my feet is killing me. I worked a double shift that day, so I was already irritated and cranky and tired. So I'm like, can we move on with it? But with my bitchiness aside, because I am bitching right now, but I say it with love and slight shade. Um, Tomorrow X Together definitely deserves their flowers because they're cute. The girls was living for them. They definitely was, the audience was definitely into it. They definitely give a good show. And to me, I'll be feeling like these solo acts really need to put in just as much work as these Korean pop stars do. Like they put them through the ringer. Like I feel like the way they get trained is the way that a lot of the old school artists that I grew up with, like Britney Spears and NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys and a lot of those boy bands were put through the ringer and trained on how, and Destiny's Child, how, Matthew had them running on a treadmill singing. So that way, if you're going to sing, you be able to do your breath control and all that other stuff. That's what needs to happen. Now, as far as like a documentary on this whole thing, I don't know. We was talking about it the other day. We was like, maybe they need to bring boy bands back. Maybe we need girl groups or whatever. And I'm here for it. I love a girl group. I love a boy band. But will this whole way that they go about putting them together, does it work in today's climate? That I'm not sure if it does. But yeah, the fans was out here saying, oh, first of all, what you're not going to do is just, disregard what K-pop has been definitely more influential than One Direction, especially when it comes to being a global phenomenon. And so, I get that someone wants to pat himself on the back for his accolades, whatever the case is, and putting One Direction together. But yeah, I do feel like you're being very dismissive of, K-pop and the influence that it has over the same demographic that you trying to grab when it comes to putting your next generation of One Direction or whatever boy band you plan on putting together. So, like I said, and I also asked the same question. So, I guess my question is to you guys: do you think that this formula of like the whole boy band situation, will it work? Especially in a reality TV format, documentary format, will it work in today's climate? Do these kids care about actually wanting to sit and watch a reality show or a documentary based on putting together a boy band? And we've seen what happens when Simon be putting groups together. I mean, didn't he put together Fifth Harmony? And that shit was a mess because Camila Cabello act like she was too damn good for the group. She did that song with her boyfriend, Shawn Mendes. Speaking of, her like hanging out with gays, she was hanging out with Shawn Mendes allegedly, and Lil Nas X. Excuse me. So you had Camila Cabello, where she was being slick and she was making these other songs outside of Fifth Harmony. And Fifth Harmony said that they was trying to get Camila back, get Camila to show up to have a meeting with the other girls, so they letting her know where she was at. But she was all trying to be slick and do her own little solo thing. And now that she is solo, nobody cares about her solo music or this current sex kitten era that she's trying to throw upon us. And we looking at her with the side eye like, girl, we know that ain't you. You trying real hard to come across like you a sex kitten. First of all, you're shaped like a little boy. So nobody's interested in looking at no little girl that's got the body of a 12-year-old, unless you a pedophile, trying to be all sexy. Maybe if she, I don't want to be like, you can't be talking about women's bodies, whatever. But bitch, you put the shit out there. We have a right to criticize or critique. So I say all this to say, do y'all care about this whole new boy band era, whatever the case is, or Simon Cowell, greedy snake ass getting his hands on, putting together a whole boy band situation? Let me know in the comments down below.